I, James, founded and work for HPI, but do not represent them or any of their opinions.
Welcome to Season 8, Episode 320 of the Furlo Bros Tech Podcast, our season finale. Every week, we definitively answer one question about the future of tech. To do that, we take into account many factors, including the companies involved, the people working for them, their marketing, and, of course, the technology they're developing. I'm Matthew Dean Furlo, and resolving to make resolutions is my brother, James Furlo.
So I don't think we actually talked about this, but in your little intro there, you say our goal is to definitively answer a question. So is our question, how well did we do at predicting 2017?
Yes, that's exactly
Sweet.
the question.
Right, because I feel like we're going to hit a bunch of different topics.
This is the annual grading episode where we actually check out how we did. So
do we have a time goal for this episode?
Yeah, we're going to try.
We're aiming for 5 hours, 4 hours?
Exactly. So the thing is for long-time listeners, our prediction shows tend to run a little bit long. Last year, we clocked in at 3.5 hours, which I listened to the entire thing.
Amazing.
In a couple of sittings, and I was just like, why did we do that to our listeners? It's a good thing we've pared it all down to quicker episodes.
So you're welcome.
You're welcome. So, all right. So I'm going to start with the fun ones because we make a couple of personal predictions every year. Excellent. The first prediction James made was he was not going to get a new computer.
Boom, 100% accurate. I threatened to buy it 4 times this year.
It was close. I'd forgotten. I had predicted he would get a new one. So
I almost did because it wasn't connecting to the internet anymore.
Yeah, that's it.
Thankfully, got saved by the Cat 5 cable, so I'm still going strong. Just not wireless anymore, which it's a desktop. So
yeah.
Okay.
We also predicted that I would have to.
I predict I get a new one next year. For the record, I'm just putting that out there.
All right, save it, James.
Oh yeah.
So as you can tell by my surroundings, I did move like we had predicted. The writing was on the wall accurately, and here I am.
Your cousin was engaged at the time.
Cousin/roommate, yes.
Yes.
So we also predicted that I would not have a new job, which is pretty accurate. I gave up on. Yeah, it was the first year in quite a while that I know. Well, yeah.
It's all right. You got other things in the fire, other irons in the fire.
We also predicted James wouldn't have a new job, so here's that.
I got irons in the fire, that's all good.
I know. In our defense, I did predict that we'd have a 3D. I'd have a 3D printer, and I have a 3D printer.
Dude, so far we're killing it.
I know.
We know ourselves.
Gets better. I predicted that Jack, our father's turkey, would die of natural causes. So far, on course to be true, which is pretty good.
Though not dead yet, which is
that's
amazing.
That's the part that we did not predict accurately. And then this is the big one. James predicted he won't buy a Tesla in 2017. He will buy a van.
Oh my! I have rented a van multiple times this year, and I'm good. I'm not gonna buy one. Oh man, yeah, that's.
All right, so it's pretty fun. So okay. So let's get to the serious business. So we had a reoccurring theme throughout the 3.5 hour show, which was that machine learning was going to. Well, actually, it was actually that machine learning was going to be the big thing in 2017. Basically said, I kept coming back to machine vision was going to be the big one, but AI and machine intelligence or machine learning in general was going to be the big zeitgeist, which I think is pretty accurate.
I've been reading. A lot of people have been like, cryptocurrency is the word for 2017. I'm like, no, I think that's been the word for November and December, but not 2017. So I'm with you, man.
Yeah, and basically I thought this was the best prediction because I think we've understood more. We've gone further down this route, but we said at the time that specifically, and we mentioned this multiple times, it just popped into our heads, that it's the companies with the biggest data sets that would be killing it because they have so much stuff to build that past the best algorithms really were the winners. But now the differentiation is data sets. Which I think in retrospect is painfully obvious that that's what all the big companies were aiming for. But so that's
machine learning. Totally, man.
But I feel like sometimes it was easy because it was so obvious and it was so true. So that was the big overarching thing. But like you said, James, we always like to start with a big one, the easy one, big dog in the room, and Apple. And how do you feel? How do you think we did with Apple?
I think we nailed it because they didn't. I think we, like usual, we gave them. What's the word I'm looking for? We were overly optimistic.
You know, it's funny. I actually think we this is the worst year we've done on Apple. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's not us. Let's put it that way.
So let's start here. I want to say this. The very first thing I predicted was that they would launch a device called the iMac Pro, which at the time they had not named the device. And I said it would have a bunch of processors, a bunch of graphics cards, 27-inch 5K display. I mean, I knocked that out of the park.
Did you specify space gray?
No, but I did simultaneously predict that they would end the Mac Pro and the Mac Mini line.
Ooh.
Yeah. I thought they were getting away from the desktops. They were just moving away. If it didn't have a screen, they didn't want it.
I mean, they didn't do anything with them, but they didn't kill them.
It was a hard, they're going to kill them.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
That's all right. Because we also said they'd get rid of the MacBook Airs because they were already, in 2016, it was an embarrassing lineup of devices.
You see, I think it's not us. Okay. These are obvious market moves that they should have been making, and they're choosing not to. These are missteps on their part.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So we spent in jest, but it's so true.
I don't know. So we spent quite a bit of time talking about the 10th anniversary iPhone, which at the time had not been named, and we had a big debate about the naming. We did not guess the iPhone 10 / the iPhone X at the time. We did guess that the operating system would be called iOS X, which, given what people knew at the time, I feel like that's partial credit, man. That's pretty close.
Software, hardware, there was an X.
Yeah, exactly. We said new body. We would change the name. We couldn't decide if it was the iPhone 8 or something else. We knew it was the 7S. I threatened to sell all of my Apple products if they called it the 7S. I predicted for the 6th year in a row, truly wireless power.
How do you count inductive charging?
That was I specifically said not inductive charging.
Oh, man.
Actually, power at a distance, 3 feet.
Hey, did you see that there's a company, they got was it a patent, or they got some sort of they got FCC approval for their 3-foot wireless charging. It's coming.
This drives me because it's not just any company. It is the company that Apple has been working with. And they're suckering me in to make the bet again and make
and that makes me think if they were willing to publish it, maybe you got to get FCC approval. You don't have a choice ahead of time.
Yep,
we'll see.
I'm going to say this is prediction show, James, not post-diction.
Sorry.
So we said dual cameras on everything, which
done.
Yeah. We said that they would push forward with AI a lot, which is not surprising given
they did
bigger thing. We waffled on OLED. Basically, it came down to...
Well, they did kind of do it, not totally commit to it.
Yeah, so, that's the funny part, is that you came around and said OLED with a new body, and I was like, in rounded edges, and I was like, I don't know. I wanted wireless charging so bad.
So smart.
And I said that it would be an OLED phone would be great. I'd probably get one, but... That's not what I was hoping for. I know. I got it. Like I said, it was not a good year for Apple for me. Yeah.
Had it launched at the same time as all the others, you probably would have gotten it.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, we also said that they'd finally get some, we said some more AR features, and they'd open up the platform.
That definitely happened.
Yeah. And I actually went further than we suspected. We thought it would only be on dual lens screens because...
Yeah, that's right.
They impressed. They dress to impress. So they get credit. So iPad spec boost, no Force Touch, we said, which got that.
Yeah.
Apple TV, James said no new Apple TV, no 4K. And his rationale was there's no 4K content in iTunes, so why would they have a 4K TV?
Well.
And I said they start selling the Apple 4K TV and they flip a switch, and they start selling 4K content. And guess what happened?
I know what happened.
That's exactly what happened. And at the
Good
time
call,
I was like,
good call.
At the time I was like, I can't understand how you possibly think this would go this way, James. And you're like, no, you don't get it. No, what are you talking about? Anyways, you did guess that there'd be an Apple Home, something.
This just hurts my soul.
Yeah, well, I think they announced the product.
That's not what I was thinking.
I know.
That's a speaker that has Siri.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we were. Yeah. In some, I mean, it is frustrating by Apple for me that the fact that Google Home is it's Google Assistant with a speaker, which you would think Siri with a speaker should be an equivalent. Like, okay, well, it's the same category, right?
Boom, done.
It's completely different. It just doesn't even. It's not even in the same. Oh, jeez.
Well, one's connected to the knowledge graph, and
yeah,
the other's an assistant.
Yeah, exactly. And one
I don't know.
One costs $20, and basically every one of our cousins got one for Christmas, and the other didn't launch before Christmas. So,
and it's going to be like what, what is it, 300, 500?
300. It's
ridiculous,
like
100.
Some stupid number.
Which someone did a review of the Google Max, which I think is their $300 equivalent, and everyone was like, "Yeah, it sounds great, but why would you pay for that?"
I know.
Stupid Apple.
And basically what we did say was that Apple wouldn't disrupt themselves in the home, which is what they should be doing. They're going to set up a system where they're not going to come up with an all-in-one sort of home hub system. They could, they won't. And
I wonder if they'll finally get frustrated that Amazon's just running away with it and decide, I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know what they're going to do. We both said no new hardware for Apple Watch. If there was new hardware, it would have 3G, but we thought it was doubtful.
Okay.
Maybe a new material, definitely bands. We were very pessimistic on the watch.
I think I was just hopeful that mine wouldn't be depreciated that fast, but oh well. Hey, new watch.
Well, it's funny you actually mentioned that because they had just launched it in September, and you were at the time you were like, man. That seems they have to launch it in September. That seems really soon. Like I just got mine. Yeah, and so you predicted that they would repatriate a bunch of cash, which the Republicans did not help make that prediction come true. Getting their act together
soon enough. Yeah,
but I feel like I'm going to give it a B+ because I feel like we're on the way, and it might have to get retroactively downgraded if Apple doesn't. But that's what we were guessing.
Well, they've already announced that they plan to do it, so it's going to happen.
So that was Apple. It wasn't horrible, but it was a weak year for us by normal standards.
It was a weak year for Apple.
Yeah,
is what happened.
Okay. So, yeah.
Because, see, we were looking at the overall trend and went, they should continue on the trend, and then they didn't. And that's where it kind of went off the rails for them. That's okay. We readjust. Yeah. Just wait until next week's episode.
Right. Apple. So the next one is Alphabet.
Oh, Alphabet.
Yeah. So we'll start with Google. Number one. We said we both went two different directions on the number of messaging apps they would have. You said they would consolidate their messaging apps and have fewer. I said they would add messaging apps without consolidating any. Turns out we were both wrong, and they have the exact same number of messages. I actually looked into this. They have the exact same number of messaging apps in 2018 as they did at the end of 2016.
Just to be clear. They now have the messaging app. Well, I guess it's a Google Assistant. It's not a messaging
that's the
app.
thing. That's the thing. They sort of like some of them shifted, and it was a little bit questionable there.
Like their main app now has the assistant, and it's like you can text with the assistant, but just the assistant. Yeah, I ended up deleting Duo and Allo. By the way, I was just like, I don't use these.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody uses them.
Exactly.
Actually, that's not true. That's not true. My wife, who has an iPhone, talks with her parents who have Android phones using Duo to do the video message because it works better than Facebook Messenger.
Right. You mentioned that last year.
Did I really?
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah. The 5 big ones being Duo, Allo, Hangouts, text messaging, and Gmail.
Jeez, yeah, those are still all there.
Yep. And with no new ones that got announced. So we said a new Pixel phone, got that one.
Boom.
We said better upgrades to Assistant. That one was dead obvious.
Yeah.
We said a new home device, which they did, the Home Mini.
3 new home devices.
I got destroyed on this one. Project Tango phone. Number of Project Tango phones. The project is officially dead and
gone. Oh, yeah. You were
Just,
super pumped about that one. That was the guy who did the Connected demo, and you were like super excited. And Johnny Woo, he's like your, I don't know, unsung hero, I guess. I don't know how you just got a love fest with him, and it just didn't. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I felt for you, really, when I read about that.
Yeah, it was rough. I think what we got instead is better, but I was excited. Nest refreshes a product or two, we said.
Yep, happened.
It did, yeah. VR will play second fiddle to AR long term. Sort of expect to see that process.
That is true.
Again, yeah. So honestly, Google, we didn't do too bad. I feel like
we nailed them.
I feel like Google helped because they didn't have anything that was shocking that happened.
Yeah. Hey, they made promises. They delivered on the promises. I can appreciate that.
Where we did do pretty well, actually, I'd say this, is that is Waymo. I'm kind of excited about this. But before we talk about Waymo, I want to talk about our sponsor for this episode.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by New Year's. Every year, we get a new one. We've had at least 2,000. Debatable how many more beyond that. It's somewhere in the ballpark of 6 to 100 billion or something like that. I don't know. It's 6,000 to 100 billion. It's the numbers range. Depends on who you talk to. But
interestingly, we've only had one of each.
Yeah, exactly. So
enjoy it while you can.
Exactly. So thanks for getting a new year and supporting this show.
Don't mess up. No pressure.
So Waymo, Google self-driving car company.
Yeah.
Number one, James said you would not be able to buy one in 2017.
True.
Predicted 2019.
I still am holding by that, actually.
I know. I was like, that doesn't feel terrible.
Yeah.
Feels all right. And I actually would say, since you predicted this in 2016, if we were to amend that somehow and say, you were able to, like, anybody in the public could get a hot ride, or I guess, if Lyft has a service or whatever, like,
okay,
buy the car.
It's like it's not in beta. It's like it's doing its
right.
thing.
Exactly. I feel like by 2019, we did say Waymo would pick up a bunch of partnerships, and they picked up a bunch between Lyft and Ford and
some critical. Maybe not a bunch, but they picked up what they did. What they needed to do.
Right, and then the last one is that they'd have a wide scale demonstration of the Waymo tech.
Boom, done.
Yeah, which killed that.
Yeah. Dang. We know our you can tell what we pay attention to. Excellent.
Exactly. So pretty good.
I would say that's another theme for the year, by the way.
Yeah,
self-driving cars.
Yeah, but this
very
sort
much
of fit into the whole AI machine learning thing.
Yeah. But so maybe that was perhaps the tip of the spear, the focus.
Yes,
for it.
That was why it's what I like to describe it as. It's a very particular solution to a much more general problem.
Yeah.
Solving that problem is actually solving a whole lot of other problems, but there's a whole lot of economic incentive to solve that specific one.
Correct.
Fair enough. It's a very concrete problem as well. So that's
an awesome problem.
All right. So the Facebook.
Facebook. Did we predict that they would lose the favor of the nation despite a world tour?
I would say, so this is where we really missed. I think the whole fake news thing caught us by surprise.
Caught everybody by surprise. It caught Facebook, but Zuckerberg by surprise.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't predict that there would be a major downturn in public
depositions.
Yeah. For any of these companies, I think it's funny. I was talking with my girlfriend today about the fact that I feel kind of weird about next year, and this is just a brief aside. But I think part of it has to do with the fact that there seems to be a zeitgeist of negativity about specifically the 5 horsemen of tech.
Oh yeah,
and we're on number 3 in Facebook. And I think we'll have to talk about this next week in our predictions episode.
Yeah. Because I read something too that was very Debbie Downer on them specifically, and trying to predict which one of them is going to fall.
Right. That's
what he thinks is. And well, okay, we're going to go way more into it.
Yeah.
But
next week. So what we said they would do this year is they would focus on VR as a social platform. The focus will be on expressivity of the avatars. That was where their VR stuff was going to be really.
I feel like they wanted to. And
I feel like that was what most of their big tech demonstrations were about, but they were so waterlogged with fake news,
the news thing,
and everything else, the election stuff, that they didn't really get a chance to shine there. But that was a huge focus for them.
Yeah. Honestly, and it'll be interesting to see if they can even get back there in 2018. But
yeah. We said we focused on. They would focus on messaging as well, and like specifically AI tethered with messaging, which I didn't really feel. I think that's the goal of theirs, but it's not. It wasn't a big shine. We said they would come out with more hardware, which they did, but we also kind of were a little bit shaky on what that would look like. We knew it would be on the VR space, but we didn't have a specific. They're going to do this.
Remember the days that everybody thought they were going to make their own hardware phone?
I know, right? At the time when everybody was predicting they'd make a new phone, I predicted they'd buy a VR company. So I just want to
genius.
Brush my shoulder on that one again.
Good job, dude. 2 thumbs up.
But we said one of the biggest focuses of 2017 would be crushing Snapchat's hopes and dreams.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yes. We nailed that one.
Yes. Oh man, nose. Yeah. Yes.
We will come back to that in a little bit. Yeah. So pretty good. Microsoft.
Microsoft.
I was really excited about it.
Surprisingly becoming a company I really like again.
Right? We talked a lot about that. We were blowing quite a bit of sunshine in Satya Nadala's direction last year.
And
very excited about him and his company.
I feel like he continued to earn it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So we said they'd start shipping HoloLens, which they did. We said they would start shipping VR hardware partners, which they did. We said they'd have new Surface computers, which they did. We said there would be no more "this is the future" videos that everybody could make fun of.
I love
which thankfully they did. We said they would expand their FPGA farms and continue to make a big deal about their machine learning stuff, which they did. We talked about how their focus was like just bring software, any software that that leveraged the Azure suite, bring it to every platform. So pretty much everything they did the goals of the company seems to stay focused in make it a platform, make Azure the platform that everybody wanted to use and leverage. Any software that uses it, put it on every platform so the Azure can tie everything together. And then,
they are definitely taking advantage of not being in the limelight right now.
Yes, I would agree.
Just heads down, getting her done.
Yeah, pretty impressive, and we were excited about it, and I think they continue to keep their head down and keep cracking and keep pushing. Which is cool. Amazon. Number 1, we said James will be a Prime member by the end of the year.
That's true.
Yes. Love it when we get them right.
Because I got my Echo, and that's when it made sense. I think that was the catalyst. I don't remember.
We said they'd have a hardware update to the Echo, which
they did.
They did. We said they would need help building up, improving the skills and sort of discoverability, interchangeability, using more than one, having them be more flexible so that different commands could trigger the proper skills. We said they needed to do that, but they won't fix it.
That's true.
One of the things that was interesting was we talked about this idea with the difficulty of predicting Amazon was that because of how they innovate they're a little bit, they can be difficult because they're
highly decentralized and don't necessarily have a unifying, this is where we're headed.
Yeah, everything has to be in service of one of their core competencies eventually, but that doesn't have to be the genesis of it. And so they move all over the place in crazy directions, and it allows them to build things like the Echo and take everybody by surprise. It also allows them, exactly. Didn't predict that. It also been
amazing if we had, by the way.
Yeah, that would have been a coup d'etat. I am jealous of what's his name?
Scott Galloway. Who got it by like a week.
Yeah, but I mean that's still pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was. I mean, we didn't make any giant predictions. I think but that was where that was. Those are what we described as the tier 1 companies. Your Fab Five, 5 horsemen of tech.
Yeah, not bad. I think we know them.
I would say honestly, I think we did all right. It wasn't
C+, B-, pretty good.
Yeah, which since you're predicting the future, we normally round up to B+.
Yeah,
it's really hard. Okay, and then
if you're predicting human behavior, if you can get an R-squared anything above 0.5, you're like amazeballs.
Yeah, I know. Somebody should hire us for this. But so Snapchat, we said Snapchat will IPO.
Yep.
You said that spectacles would become generally available, but no new hardware because they'd be focused on the IPO.
Yep.
I said Snapchat will have new hardware. I was wrong.
You were wrong.
I was in a rare trying to be nice to Snapchat mood.
You won't make this mistake next week.
Nope. The one thing that we said repeatedly was that Facebook was going to do everything in their power to make them as miserable as possible. And I think that has been true. And I think they have been quite successful.
Yes.
So that's been kind of fun. So get into the story of your other ones. We said missed big on this one. Uber.
Oh
Specifically, the CEO will hang around.
Oops.
We said they wouldn't IPO. They wouldn't pivot. They would focus on taking down Lyft, which, if that was their focus, they failed terribly. And we basically said they just got to survive the year kind of thing. That's their thing. Just keep on going. And they
did not really.
They survived, but it was quite the rough year for them.
I would argue Uber at the end of the year was not the same Uber at the beginning, or is not the same Uber. So in some sense, no, I would say they did not survive. I think it's better, but they had a bad year.
I think we missed bad on the CEO one.
Yeah. It wasn't without a fight. So
I'm gonna say honestly, the whole
because he would like to still be in charge.
I didn't even think about it, but there was. Was he the first one that was really taken down this year by sexual harassment stuff? Not directly, but the company culture as a whole.
First big one.
I think that was like a lot of where the conversation kind of started burbling up. And
Ellen Powell had her thing a little earlier, but it was definitely whoever it was. Yeah.
All right. We said that Tesla would be overwhelmed by the Model 3 this year, and that would basically
yes,
they did. We said that we actually
we mean by manufacturing overwhelmed?
This was a bit embarrassing. What we actually said was that they were going to focus. Their whole thing would be to focus on manufacturing as many as possible, trying to keep up with demand, and then the flip problem would happen. They would have brought up so much production capabilities that they'd run into a new issue where they might run out of demand.
Oops.
That required that much production. Yeah. Oops, that's a big one.
They didn't have that problem.
No, it did not. That did not resolve
them at all.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I was talking with someone who is on the Model 3 pre-order list.
Again, and you mentioned that last year. Yeah, sorry.
Nice. Anyways, he was talking with his wife, and she's now kind of cooling on it. She's like, by the time our car becomes available, she goes, I think there might be other companies who have viable alternatives.
Yeah.
Which Alon knows that.
I have a buddy who decided to not wait for his Model 3 and cancel his pre-order. He did buy a Model S instead, so I'm not sure Tesla really hates it too much, but it's it's an interesting predicament. So he asked, how many rockets would SpaceX blow up this year? We said 1. I actually think we missed that. I don't think they blew up 1 this year.
They did pretty good.
Yeah, I think the pad explosion that destroyed Facebook satellite freaked them out pretty good. So they were quite intent on not destroying any rockets this year, and I think they did.
And next year they got the Falcon Heavy, right?
Yeah, it's posed. It should be launching in the next week or two or something.
That's
like
awesome.
That. I know, very exciting. We said that this year, Twitter, their big advantage was they had the highest office in the land would use it as his primary form thing. So the only thing they had to do this year was to not completely fail. It was their homework assignment, and everything would be in service of that, which is pretty much all they did.
I read a funny-ish article that was talking about Twitter apologies throughout the year, and it was just taking into account every time one of either the current CEO or a former CEO had to apologize for something Twitter did or didn't do. and yeah, just very interesting. But yeah, I think they're in a better place than they were last year. And again, I'm with what we said. It's not because Jack Dorsey's an amazing CEO. It's they happen to have one of the highest leaders on it.
Yep, I agree. We said that
attention, right? What is it? Good news or whatever. Media is good, no matter if it's good or bad. The quote's more pithy than that.
It's all press is good press.
Yeah.
We actually again mentioned that. And specifically that's not always true.
It's nice to know that we're consistent.
And this year more than ever, I think we saw a lot of examples where there was bad press and it destroyed people's careers and lives. So
that's true.
Yeah. Specifically. So Yahoo, we said would die this year. You said
boom.
You said it would
gone.
just. Well, Verizon had already made an offer. We're already in talks. You said it would happen without any hiccups. I said there was a good chance for a real disaster where Verizon would back out because of all of the leaks and stuff, or all of the data leaks
and the hacks.
And that they would just implode on themselves. Got it in the middle. They sold to Verizon, but for less than they wanted.
And Marissa Meyer still got her $23 million
hey man
exit, so it's all good.
Got to make sure they get paid.
I mean, she had a $200 and some odd $million salary, so I don't feel too bad. But
I know she'll survive somehow. We predicted that Samsung.
By the way, her quote when she left was, "I'm looking forward to Gmail again."
It's pretty good. So we predicted that Samsung would have no exploding phones this year. Actually, we said it would be a tour de force of marketing to kind of revamp the brand.
I think they did.
Which was
they had a great year.
Yeah. Especially considering the year before.
Yes.
James
I did love all the year over year sales are through the roof. Like, really? Like,
right, yeah.
That's
congrats.
Yay. Turns out shipping a year after exploding phones is really good on the growth chart.
James said the Nintendo Switch would be middling. We agreed that the PS4 Pro would be the runaway bestseller.
I don't think that's true.
Missed it.
Yeah. Turns out the Switch is kind of awesome. I've only played the Zelda game, Compliments of Your Girlfriend, for 20 minutes, and I had a discussion with my wife where I committed to not buying the Switch despite me really, really, really wanting to, because I didn't think I would be able to play responsibly.
I understand. Yeah, I understand.
It still looks fun.
We specifically said
I'm trying to justify it for a trip I'm taking in May, but I don't think I'll be able to pull it off.
We specifically said that the Nintendo Switch would not have the sort of draw that the Wii had, which again,
that is what is it? Sales data driven false?
Yes. Yes.
Well, they said it easily outsold the Wii U, which I'm like, yeah, duh. But I think it even outsold the Wii in its time period, whatever.
Yeah, it's going pretty gangbusters. So good job, Nintendo. We also said that
2 amazing games. We'll see how next year goes.
Oh man. We said that the PlayStation, Sony would focus for the VR stuff, that they would focus on new different forms for their special.
Is that true?
Yeah, they did. Cool. Guns, basically. I said they'd have guns, and they do.
They got guns.
And then we also said that
you just played a new VR. You just got a new VR game for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
And is it good?
It's awesome. I love it.
Excellent.
I'm like, the graphics are a little wonky, honestly. The graphics aren't that great until the first dragon lands over your head and you think, this is the greatest thing ever.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Running for your life.
That sounds awesome, actually.
We said, and then finally we kind of wrapped it up. We didn't wrap it up. We said drones just wouldn't have much of a year. They're kind of not necessarily mature, but they'd have a pretty,
So I was watching this video of a guy. He was actually talking about his top 10 worst or bottom 10 worst purchases of 2017, and 3D printer and a drone were on that list.
Wow,
and I think it's because he was like, yeah, drones are awesome for like 5 hours. He's like, and then the novelty kind of wears off and you're done. His 3D printing issue was apparently there was a health risk because he had the coils that melt or something, and he was like, his house didn't have proper ventilation, and so he was just like, yeah, I can't really use it.
That sounds like it's on him, but okay.
I'm just saying. But the point being, these were 2 products that at least at one time everyone was like, this is the future, and it's like, well, no, it's a novelty.
And we came to the conclusion that the drone, if you have the specific need for it, it's amazing.
Yes,
but
and that was his caveat. I mean, he's super nice. Where he's like, it just wasn't right for me.
Yeah, exactly. So the last thing that we did, I'm going to fly through this really quickly.
Okay.
We thumbs up. If I say the first thumbs up, James said it. The second thumbs up, I said it. Justice League of America. James said thumbs up. I said thumbs down. I win.
Dang, I still haven't seen it.
I know. Kong. James said thumbs down. I said thumbs up. Again, I win. Dude, that's actually that was a waffler. I liked it, but it wasn't great. It wasn't high.
I've heard.
It's fun. I definitely would recommend.
I've heard more good than bad, so I'm with you. What is Rotten Tomatoes? No, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. We gave it 2 thumbs up. That's solid. Spider-Man. 2 thumbs up. We predicted.
I still haven't seen because
these are all predictions, by the way. Transformers, 2 thumbs down. Killed the franchise. I think we won on that one. Thor, 2 thumbs up. Logan, 2 thumbs up. Aliens, you gave it a thumbs down. I gave it a thumbs up. I think I missed. Star Wars, unsurprisingly, we said 2 thumbs up. Lego Batman, 2 thumbs up. Wonder Woman, you said up. That. I said middle. Diana heard me.
You were wrong.
Diana was sitting in the room when I got to that part, and she was like, "Wow, Matthew."
And did you come back with like, well, I just didn't think it would do justice to how wonderful of a woman she is.
What was really funny was in the audio, I then continued to talk about how I think it depends on how much influence Zack Snyder has, and Diana goes, "Yeah, okay, I feel that." Which was fair. Beauty and the Beast, we gave 2 thumbs down. John Wick.
I only made it halfway through that Beauty and the Beast on Netflix, and my wife and I were both like, you know what, I'm good. We turned it off.
Yeah, okay. This is where it really hurts, though, because we said biggest grossers. We thought it was going to be Star Wars, then Cars 3. It was Star Wars, then Beauty and the Beast. Then, and this is where it gets crazy, Cars 3 was in 20th place for the year.
Huh.
We also said that it was going to be... It was a toss-up. It was a toss-up between Guardians of the Galaxy and Spider-Man for the top grosser of the superhero movies. We said Spider-Man, turned out to be Guardians. But it was a toss-up. It was a waffler. And they ended up very close.
In other words, Disney is the only organization producing good movies at this time.
Again, James, you brought that up last year. And that is only becoming more true as they bought a bunch of Fox properties this year. So
yeah, which apparently Fox is a major owner or the major shareholder in Hulu.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
man, Disney owns entertainment. Good for them. I'm okay with that.
We Power Rangers. I want to embarrass you with this one. You gave it a thumbs up. I gave it a thumbs down. I feel like it was a hard miss, James.
I feel like I never saw it. If it's on Netflix, I'd be interested.
If I'm totally honest, I didn't see it.
I would sit through it on Netflix. Totally.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, good times.
Wow. That's how we did. So, overall perceptions of the year, not from a prediction standpoint, but just from a technology evolution, revolution, how'd it go? How was the year?
It was good.
Walt Mossberg, what was that at the 2016 when he retired, was like, technology's kind of like, we're going to be stagnant for a while. We're in the lull and something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Right? Yeah, kind of. There wasn't any big breakout things, I think, but there's something else going on, and I want to talk about it more next week. And I think I'm okay because I think I'm gonna get boring, and I'll give you a hint. I actually think that this year's all going to be about Echoes and Google Homes, is what I'm thinking. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but
I'm going to go with cryptocurrency. But more specifically, the decentralized internet of things. I'll figure out how to say it better. Right. I know the internet's technically already decentralized, but I'll say more later.
Gotcha. All right. Well, looking forward to talking about it.
Internet 3.0. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh man, getting crazy.
Which is going to bring down one of the 5. But
blockchain.
We'll get there. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like it was. I don't know. I struggle because, like, on one hand, I've got a very smart home, and it's a lot smarter this year than it was even at the beginning or last year. So in that sense, for me, it's like, yeah, it was a cool tech year, and I've got Echoes in each of the rooms. I've got a Home Mini. So from a home standpoint, I'm like, oh, it's very cool. From a like how I live my life, a lot of change and improvement. Yeah, from a tech news standpoint, yeah, it feels like it was just another like, yeah, we're making improvements. We're working on it. We're all looking for the next iPhone or smartphone, and it's not there. And maybe that's where we need to recalibrate a little bit. But yeah, okay. I think there were a lot of political and or trust issues, distractions, I don't know what you want to call them, that also played a huge, significant role that, we're just going to, I think it slowed things down as you would expect it to. And I think we felt the brunt of that. The VR space, just partly it just feels like it's cooling. It's turning into the drone and 3D printer. Oh yeah, I said that. But another one is, and companies, just like you said, didn't get to focus on it.
Well, and I also think that honestly, like from a software perspective, they had their best year yet. There's actual software coming out, and
I agree. But I think now we're getting to play with it, and people are going, It's I think there's specific use cases like gaming where you're like amazing.
I think I don't know. I maybe the expectations were too high, and they're correcting to where they should be. But
which is again what happened with 3D printing and drones.
I think the negativity is a different thing. I don't necessarily think. I think the negativity is coming from a place of I think there's a bit of distrust about technology and just a general lack of optimism that kind of cropped up this year. And because I feel it, and I'm trying to understand, is it because the companies really failed this year, or is it because the general feeling is sort of there's a negative outlook? I'm not exactly sure. Or is it me? I'm not exactly, like I said, I'm not positive, but
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. Well, there you have it. We managed to debrief a 3-hour prediction show into 45 minutes. So not bad. Good job, man. Thanks for recapping all of that.
I don't know how we're going to compress our predictions into 45 minutes, but
yeah,
let's do it.
Well, we got a week to figure it out. Awesome. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We hope at the very least that was a good review of what happened this year. And that gets you thinking about what's going to happen next year, which if you want to know what's going to happen next year, stay tuned to next week's episode, which will also be the beginning of season 9. Absolutely. Oh, holy cow. My notes just like disappeared.
Sorry.
Okay. You cut and paste a bunch of stuff. All right. So speaking of which, you can check out all the links and all the information to these predictions on furlobros.com/320. That's 320. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes and Google Play. And we don't really have to say thank you to anybody except for ourselves for awesome predictions. And thanks to all those different companies who did stuff that we could talk about. And so this podcast is sponsored by listeners just like you and New Year's. Enjoy it. You get this one. It sounded funnier in my head than it came out. That happens. And then I laughed, which just made it like, oh, what am I doing? Anyways, on that awkward note, I am James Furlo, and my newly yeared brother is Matthew Furlo, and so we will talk next time.